DJI's latest release, the Mini 4K, is based on the older Mini 2 SE, but as many of you have pointed out, is it actually just really the original Mini 2 with a new sticker and name? Reading through some of the comments has been absolutely brilliant. Have all YouTubers been brainwashed? Are we under orders from DJI not to even talk about the original Mini 2? I've got to admit, rarely has a new release generated so much discussion and a bit of frustration. So here is my take on this. First off, I need to put across some basics so you know where I'm coming from. Most of these drones that you see around me have been bought with my own money, but in the case of the 4K, DJI sent this to me about a week or so before its release for me to play around with, and crucially, it came with its specs laid out by DJI. Now, of course, this is a crucial document because you can't just look up the specs online because they're not published before a new model is released. So the reason that so many YouTubers are only talking about the Mini 4K compared with the Mini 2 SE, myself included, is because the details of the specs came through listed with a direct comparison of the Mini 2 SE and the Mini 3. So it's fair to say that when I put a video out, I do take pride in checking and double checking the specs to make sure what I say is bang on the mark. And in truth, I did that here too, double checking with the published specs on the Mini 2 SE. But what I didn't do was go back further. And in retrospect, I definitely should have done that, because how many of you can remember the original Mavic Mini, aka the Mini 1? Well, here's how things went after that, and I'll be honest, I really do have to look at some notes to go through this next list. Mini 1 launched October 2019 with a 2.7K camera. Mini 2 came out November 2020 with a 4K camera, hooray! Mini SE came out mid-2021, 2.7K camera based on Mini 1 but in a Mini 2 body. Then we had the Mini 3 Pro come out in May 2022 with a 4K camera. Then we had the downgraded Mini 3 coming out in December 22 with 4K but no obstacle avoidance. Then we went quite a bit backwards and had the Mini 2 SE in February 2023, 2.7K camera, only 40 megabits per second bitrate. So it was launched as a super budget drone. And then later that year, we had the still brilliant, in my humble opinion, Mini 4 Pro, launched in September 2023, 4K all-round obstacle avoidance. And now, this month, April, we've got the Mini 4K. 4K camera based on the Mini 2 SE body. Lordy, you are left wondering just how many different versions we're going to get of the Mini series. I've got to admit, 8. Is it 8? Yeah. 8 different versions of the Mini series is a lot of specifications to try and keep up with. But all of that doesn't alter the fact the original Mini 2 had a 4K camera. And comparing the specs, it seems that the camera in the new 4K is precisely the same as the original Mini 2's camera, launched all the way back in November 2020. So the crucial question is, what are the actual differences between the original Mini 2, not the SE, the original Mini 2, and the new Mini 4K? Well, to be blunt, surprisingly little. Make no mistake, the 4K is based on the Mini 2 SE body, as per the label inside the Mini 4K showing Mini 2 SE. And like the 2 SE, it doesn't sport the little LED that featured on the front of the body of the original Mini 2. The only other difference I could find was the little C label, and of course the name 4K on the arm. So you're kind of left wondering why and what was trying to be achieved here. I think, to be honest, we might all just be reading a little bit too much into it. To me, when I made the review yesterday, this was indeed an upgraded version of the Mini 2 SE. In reality, it seems like the original Mini 2 camera just put into the body of the Mini 2 SE, stuck on with a C0 label to comply with EASA classifications for Europe, and then just relaunched as DJI's cheapest 4K drone, ready to fly in towns and cities thanks to its nice little C0 label. And to be honest, I think that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. I guess DJI have to keep things up to date with changing rules, and the C0 label on a budget 4K drone is actually a big thing. They don't sell the original Mini 2 anymore, so I guess the easiest thing was just to put a standard 4K sensor into the Mini 2 SE body and call it something new. Personally, I could have done without having yet another iteration of Mini drone to try and remember, especially calling it 4K when there's already a very different model called the 4 Pro. And if the 4 Pro follows the 3 Pros route. Are we going to be seeing a new Mini 4 without the Pro label later this year? I genuinely hope not. To me, DJI would be far better concentrating on something nice and new, like, I don't know, Air 3S with a lovely big 1-inch sensor or something. But look, I wanted to get this out there because I really do not like putting something out there without telling the whole story and a balanced perspective. And I definitely feel like I missed half the story on the Mini 4K review. So hands up for that. I am very sorry. In saying that, even knowing now that it is a near perfect clone of the original Mini 2, I am happy that the rebranded 4K is still a brilliant model for somebody starting out or wanting a backup drone, just as I said in the review video. £269, $299, it's a bargain. And yet, some of you have mentioned that should you not have obstacle avoidance on a beginner's drone? Well, personally, I'm not so sure. If you think you can't crash, and you can start flying a little bit sloppy, in my opinion. So to me, obstacle avoidance is a nice to have, but not absolutely necessary for a beginner. So on that basis, I think it's a brilliant budget beginner's drone. I'll do a link to yesterday's review down below, and I hope you can see this for what it is. Anyway, on that note, I will say until next time, have fun, happy flying.